be unique. I like to be different. I think unique is very rare to find nowadays.
Wow, I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
First, I was deeply disappointed.
The slave thing is a bummer.
It's a bummer. And I
can't control it.
I still believe,
know, but
I
it's
send
just like,
reparations, by the
whoa.
way, so y'all can stop texting me and emailing me and saying that I'm a white girl and that I don't deserve reparations.
One of the things I think about, and one of the reasons why I'm on the show, is because of the comments that were made, frankly, on the show, that the only way for a young African-American kid to be successful in this country is to be the exception and not the rule. That is a dangerous, offensive, disgusting message to send to our young people today, that the only way to succeed is...
Melania Trump is taking an unusual legal step that's getting a lot of attention. Instead of going with a standard defamation lawsuit, her legal team is using criminal defamation laws. That's a rare and serious move, and if successful, it could even send The View co-host Sunny Hostin to jail. People close to Melania say this isn't just about shutting down criticism. They claim Hostin went too far and tried to destroy Melania's reputation on purpose. According to the lawsuit, Hostin didn't simply share strong opinions, she knowingly spread false and damaging claims. Criminal defamation laws aren't used very often, and many states have stopped enforcing them, but they're still active. In places like New York, and under those laws, even if something turns out to be true, it might not protect someone from punishment if they acted with bad intent. Some are wondering if Melania's goal is to defend her name or to send a message to future critics. Others think it might even be a way to go after The View as a whole. If Hostin is found guilty, she could face big fines or even spend up to 3 years in prison. The trouble began after a recent episode of The View that left many viewers stunned. Hostin didn't just talk about Melania's political views, she brought up her parenting, claimed she overlooked Donald Trump's scandals, and mentioned old rumors about her modeling career that were never confirmed. The most talked about moment came when Hostin said, "A woman stays with a man like that." Some called the comment sexist, others said it was fair criticism. Either way, it clearly sparked strong reactions. Behind the scenes, Melania's legal team started building their case. According to leaked messages, The View producers may have encouraged Hostin to take things further, reportedly telling her to go harder. Some believed the show wanted more drama to boost ratings, but didn't expect it would lead to a lawsuit like this. Now Hostin is facing real legal risks. Criminal defamation isn't common in the media world, but this case could break new ground. Melania's lawyers say they have proof Hostin planned her remarks based on false tabloid stories. Legal experts are paying close attention. They say that if Melania wins, it could open the door for more lawsuits against journalists and TV personalities. Her team insists this case isn't about silencing free speech, it's about stopping lies that hurt people. Still, the lawsuit is raising big questions. Is this just a bold way to protect Melania's reputation? Or is it meant to scare others from speaking out? Whatever the answer, one thing is clear: if this case succeeds, speaking out against the Trumps, especially on live television, might come with serious consequences.
Into the room,
Yes.
and he had been told, "Your son is in college, I understand, but he's still your child. This is his father." How difficult was that to have that conversation?
Very difficult, very difficult. He was outside playing sport and he rushed in and was very, very difficult.
And then a few weeks later, there's another attempt on your husband's life at your golf course. Where were you, and what was your reaction to this attempt?
I was in New York City actually, and I saw it on the television. And as soon as I saw it on television, I called again, and he was okay because Secret Service were great. The guys that they were with him, they were fantastic. And I think both of the events, they were really miracles. If you really think about it, July 13 was a miracle. Like that much, and he could not be with us.
This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment remark.
This wasn't just a one-off comment. According to leaked emails, The View producers had planned the criticism of Melania Trump weeks in advance. The messages show that Sunny Hostin was encouraged to go after Melania more aggressively. In one email, producers reportedly told her to focus on the gold digger narrative based on unverified claims about Melania's prenup. Another message urged her to mention Jeffrey Epstein to stir up controversy, even though there was no proof linking Melania to him. Insiders now say the show may have been chasing ratings by creating drama, possibly without expecting this kind of backlash. Some even believe the attacks were greenlit by Disney, which owns ABC, to shift attention away from its own internal issues. That theory hasn't been confirmed, but it's fueling speculation online. Melania's legal team is taking the matter seriously. They've subpoenaed hundreds of hours of unaired footage, including behind-the-scenes moments showing Hostin rehearsing her remarks with producers. What many thought were off-the-cuff comments are now being described as scripted and deliberate. One source close to the case said the evidence points to more than just Hostin. If it turns out the producers were involved in crafting false narratives, the entire show could be facing legal consequences. Her team has reportedly reviewed over 1,200 hours of video. In one clip, Hostin is said to have joked during a commercial break, "Let's make Melania cry." Another message allegedly shows producers discussing ways to hide positive stories about Melania's charity work. The most serious piece of evidence is a clip where Hostin reportedly says, "I don't care if it's true, it'll trend." That line, if authentic, could hurt her case. There's even talk online that the FBI might be involved, although Melania's team says they're handling the case on their own. Meanwhile, things at The View seem tense. IT staff have reportedly started wiping servers, and several hosts have called out sick. Legal experts say the amount of evidence collected could support claims of organized defamation, the kind criminal laws were designed to address. This lawsuit isn't just about Sunny, one of Melania's lawyers said. It's about the toxic environment at ABC. Hostin, who was once a respected voice in media, is now said to be emotionally overwhelmed. Reports suggest she's been crying regularly and urging ABC to settle the case. She's even considering making a public apology on air, but Melania's team says this isn't about money, it's about accountability, a source close to the former First Lady explained. Hostin's legal team is reportedly struggling. Some say they're exploring a mental health defense, arguing that she was pressured too hard by the show's producers. Others believe she may be taking the fall to shield higher-ups from responsibility. Meanwhile, Hostin's co-hosts have reportedly started distancing themselves. Sources say even Whoopi Goldberg has stopped returning her calls. As the case builds, Hostin is facing a tough decision: apologize publicly and admit fault or take the risk of going to trial, where she could face real consequences, including possible jail.
One screen. He waits till the end of the speech. So just looking at that screen allowed him to turn his head.
Yeah.
And he said it was providential. Does this make you believe in it more, in a higher power? How has that been for you?
I think something was watching over him. I think it's almost like country really needs him.
That maybe God's sparing his life.
Yes.
And then we were told this week, and we were told that authorities have already known this for a while, that there was an Iranian plot to kill your husband. So I watched this video that you released on social media questioning the first assassination attempt. For the second one, if they knew that there was this plot, why didn't they sweep the golf course?
You know, it's interesting how quiet and everything became. All of
The lawsuit isn't just focused on Sunny Hostin. Legal documents show that Melania Trump's legal team is going much further, targeting producers, writers, and even top ABC executives. They could face serious charges under federal racketeering. Laws were helping create what Melania's lawyers call a culture of defamation. Co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sarah N have also been named in the case. Melania's team says they acted as co-conspirators by staying silent while Hostin made her remarks in their view, silence equals support. Leaked emails suggest that producers pushed guests to back up Hostin's statements, creating what some insiders are calling a mob mentality on set. There are even reports that ABC's legal team is now offering deals to junior staff in exchange for testimony against senior producers. If charges are brought under the RICO Act, a law normally used against organized crime, some of the show's staff could face up to 20 years in prison. That would be a huge blow to both ABC and Disney's reputation, not to mention its stock value. Melania's message is simple. If you come after her, she won't just defend herself, she'd take on your whole network. In a rare interview, she said firmly, "This ends now." She called the lawsuit a fight for dignity, saying, "They attack my son, my marriage, my soul." She was referring to Hostin's comments about her son, Baron Trump. People are divided. Supporters see this as a bold stand against public bullying. Critics think it's a power move meant to scare people from speaking out, according to sources. Melania has been quietly preparing this case since 2018. She even hired former FBI agents to help gather evidence. Some call it political theater, but her calm, focused attitude points to a carefully planned legal strategy. "They mocked me as a trophy wife," she said. "Now I'm the judge and jury." Free speech groups are now raising concerns. If Melania wins, could public criticism be treated as a crime? One constitutional lawyer warned, "This isn't about truth, it's about fear." But Melania's supporters say Hostin went far beyond fair criticism. They describe her words as psychological warfare, especially her claim that Melania was linked to child trafficking, an accusation her team says is not an opinion, but a serious and false criminal charge, some conspiracy theorists believe. This case is being used to test tools for controlling the media. While those claims are unproven, one thing is certain: this case could change how media outlets operate moving forward. As the court prepares for what could become a landmark decision, the pressure is already being felt. Advertisers are pulling out, and sources say ABC's legal department is drafting possible cancellation notices for The View. Other talk shows are now reviewing their content, worried they might be the next to face legal action, some believe. Melania's real goal is to help clear the path for Donald Trump's 2024 comeback by sending a warning to the media. At the same time, everyday people who face defamation are contacting lawyers. Inspired by Melania's bold move, Melania opened the floodgates, said one legal expert. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a turning point.